History of Australia country. The history of Australia dates back tens of thousands of years, with the arrival of Indigenous Australians to the continent. These Indigenous peoples have a rich and diverse cultural heritage, with over 500 distinct language groups. European exploration and colonization of Australia began in the 17th century. The Dutch were the first Europeans to make contact with the continent, with Dutch navigator Willem Janszoon landing on the western coast of Cape York Peninsula in 1606. However, it was the British who would ultimately establish a permanent presence in Australia. In 1770, British explorer Captain James Cook claimed the eastern coast of Australia for Britain, naming it New South Wales. The British government saw the continent as a potential site for a penal colony, and in 1788, the first fleet arrived in Botany Bay, led by Captain Arthur Phillip. This marked the beginning of British colonization, and the establishment of the first European settlement in Australia, which would later become Sydney. The early years of British settlement were marked by conflict with the indigenous peoples, as well as harsh living conditions for the convicts and settlers. Over time, more British colonies were established in different parts of Australia, including Tasmania, Western Australia, South Australia, and Victoria. In the 19th century, Australia experienced a gold rush, attracting a large number of immigrants from around the world. This influx of people led to the growth of cities, and the development of industries such as mining, agriculture, and manufacturing. By the late 19th century, the separate colonies of Australia were seeking greater autonomy from Britain. In 1901, the 6 colonies federated to form the Commonwealth of Australia, with the Australian Constitution coming into effect. This marked the birth of the modern nation of Australia. Australia's involvement in both world wars and its close ties with Britain began to shift in the mid-20th century. The country sought to establish its own identity and forge stronger relationships with its neighbors in the Asia-Pacific region. Australia became a founding member of the United Nations in 1945 and has since played an active role in international affairs. In recent decades, Australia has experienced significant social and cultural changes, including the recognition and reconciliation efforts towards Indigenous Australians, the growth of multiculturalism, and the development of a diverse and prosperous economy. Today, Australia is a democratic country with a stable political system, a strong economy, and a high standard of living. It is known for its natural beauty, unique wildlife, and vibrant multicultural society.